This seems to be typical, Chinese initial engagement. I think they were testing Secretary Blinken in public, and so I think this rhetoric was probably not unexpected. And of course, as you say, what happens behind closed doors is really going to be what's most important. But I think that the opening day was a spectacle, and hopefully the second day that they will get down to brass tacks and work on these critical issues that really need to be resolved. And is China going to be part of the rules-based order, the international order, and have the respect for human rights and that all countries should have.
Do you see either side compromising in any area? If so, where? And if not, what happens next then?
Well, I think I think we're going to see continued competition, friction, misunderstanding, and of course this will spill over into economic and trade issues and the like. But I do see there's going to be a bit of pragmatism on both sides, and I think that's really key because the two largest economies in the world are interlinked, and we have to work together at some level. But I think that the Biden administration is not going to compromise values. I think we've seen that through through the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense's first visit to Japan and South Korea, and I think that this is a values-based administration, so they're not going to compromise, but they will work together or will work from a pragmatic perspective to try to encourage cooperation and operations and work within the rules-based international order.
And David, you've got a military background. When it comes to these very serious matters of Taiwan and the South China Sea, do you see any potential confrontation on those fronts? Of course, there's been worries about these possible miscalculations. How can that be avoided?
Well, that's really, you're correct. A miscalculation is the biggest fear. And, the region around Taiwan is tense right now. We, of course, are ensuring freedom of navigation, access to the global commons, and, our military presence, our naval presence is viewed by China as really hostile. So the area surrounding Taiwan and Taiwan itself is vulnerable to military miscalculation, and so we really have to be open and transparent and communicate. But we've got to stand up for for our interests and for the interests of our friends, partners, and allies in the region, and we're not going to back down. I think that this administration is going to stand firm, but they will do everything they can to prevent a kinetic confrontation. And as you said, the most important is to prevent miscalculation and misunderstanding. And that's why these talks are important, so that views can be expressed and some level of understanding can be reached.